Hi everyone. This video is a book review about a book that I recently purchased at my job, and the title of this book is Fertility, a Naturopathic Approach, and it is written by Jane Simple, M.A.N.D. So Dr. Simple. The reason I chose this book is because I'm currently reading maybe 2 other books, but I'm trying to be more consistent with my book reviews, and I just wanted something very short to read before my trip out of town. This book is part of a series of books by Woodland Publishing. I know they're written by different authors and various things, but Fertility was something that stood out to me because it's something that I'm working on for myself, and it's also something that I want to know to help the customers that come to our store. We have a lot of women that come in who are trying to conceive, and I want to give them the best information that they can have in order for them to have success. So before I get into this book, let me tell you a little bit about the author, Dr. Jane Simple. It says Dr. Simple received her master's degree from Case Western Reserve, which I think was pretty cool because my first college was in Ohio, and we had our campus near Case Western Reserve. She graduated first in her class in 1984. She completed a dual doctorate in naturopathy and naturopathic ministry from Trinity College of Natural Health. She has been an herbalist and naturopathic practitioner for 20 years. Dr. Simple was a professor at Cuyahoga Community College for 6 years and Baldwin Wallace College for 3 years. Cuyahoga is in Cleveland or near Cleveland. I haven't really been there that much, but she developed an anatomy and physiology module for Trinity College of Natural Health. She founded the Alternative Healing Institute to bring training for alternative therapies to individuals and medical professionals. She develops and teaches continuing education courses for those in the medical field. Dr. Simple is an active member of the American Naturopathic Medical Association, the Association of Nutritional Consultants, American Botanical Council, and Coalition for Natural Health. She is a health freedom advocate. She has been listed in Who's Who of American Women since 1985 and Who's Who in Medicine and Healthcare since 2004. She was honored as a Woman of Achievement in Ohio in April 2005. So that is why I really like this book, because I feel that not only does Dr. Simple have experience, she has also had success in helping couples conceive and have children. Even though this book was only 24 pages, I learned a lot of things from this book, and it answered a lot of questions that I had about fertility. So let me get started on telling you about this wonderful, informative book. So the first publishing was in 2008, and I guess this is the second edition, which was 2015. And she begins with a beautiful picture of sperm trying to get to their destination, but it's made to look like a sun. Very inspiring. I wish I could make this into a poster. But she begins with, what are the causes of infertility? And she says, a couple is said to be infertile if pregnancy does not result after 1 year of normal sexual activities without contraceptives. About 25% of couples experience infertility at some point in their reproductive lives. So I did not know exactly what the complete definition of infertility was before I read this book. I didn't know what were the characteristics of it besides okay, you're having a difficult time getting pregnant or conceiving. But I didn't know that there was supposed to be a specific time period, which she says is 1 year of normal sexual activity without any protection, like no birth control, no condoms, all of that. So if you are having an issue like that, you may be experiencing infertility. She says, although sources differ somewhat, when a couple is unable to conceive, the husband is found to be infertile about 1/3 of the time, the wife 1/3 of the time, and no specific problem can be found for the remaining third, which I think is pretty interesting. Some people will give different definitions of what that mysterious 1/3 is. Sometimes the 1/3 is stress levels. Sometimes it is environmental issues. Sometimes it can be a financial cause. Like fertility treatments are very expensive. If you're going to go like the surgery route or the pharmaceutical route, it can become very, very pricey. And you're going to have to invest some money into these treatments. Others, if you're thinking on a spiritual level, it might be like divine. I don't know. But whatever that 1/3 is, a lot of people are trying to override that so that they can get the child of their dreams. And that is okay. In nature, animals reproduce until food becomes scarce, then fertility decreases. Which makes a lot of sense because if you don't have enough food to go around, you don't want to all be starving, okay? Like you don't want to be like, oh my God, there's no more squirrels to eat. And I'm pumping out babies, there's not going to be enough food for us. So the animal body naturally just knows what to do, knows when to decrease until the situation solves itself or resolves itself. And they can start producing at a normal rate again. Whereas in this society, mostly, American society or North American society, we have plenty of food. We have so much food, we could feed the whole globe. However, just because we have a certain amount of food does not mean that this food is of high quality. We have soil that is depleted. We have chemicals being used to create our food. We have a lot of processed foods. So even though we are eating to our heart's content, we are not being nourished to our body's content. And that, including the hormones in the food, can also interfere with your fertility. So she says, I am convinced the majority of human infertility is due to poor nutrition and lifestyle choices, which can be reversed. I have been treating infertility with naturopathic remedies for over a decade, and I have a wall of baby pictures to show that they work. I like that. Sometimes when you help people get better, it does something for your confidence. Like I helped along with the divine to help you get to a better state. Me personally, I haven't helped somebody get pregnant. I've helped them grow their hair. I've helped them lose weight, but I haven't helped them get pregnant. So to celebrate her little baby pictures, I just have a baby picture of me and my daddy. That is me and my daddy. God rest his soul. Nope. It's the only baby picture I have until I have a baby. Next one. Causes of infertility. She divides it into male and female. So she begins with female. Smoking, alcohol, and recreational and pharmaceutical drugs have been cited as causes of reduced fertility in women. I thought that was pretty accurate because not only do these things cause you to have infertility, if you do get pregnant, it increases the chances of your baby having some type of medical issue. There was a neighbor that I had when I was back in St. Charles. I actually mentioned this neighbor before because she tried to, she was very racist. She tried to get me arrested. She was just a very horrible woman. But I remember when she got pregnant with her very first child, I was about 12 years old, and she was smoking cigarettes. And I said, hey, maybe you should stop smoking cigarettes. You'll hurt the baby. And she's like, no, I can't do that because it'll shock the baby. So all 4 of her children ended up having some type of medical issue. The first baby that she smoked with, she ended up having ADHD and something else. I want to say ODD because she had some behavioral issues. The second baby, he ended up having hearing problems and he also had behavioral issues. The third baby had vision problems And she also had problems with her behavior. And the fourth baby had some type of issues, but I don't know exactly what they were, because by that time I had completely ran away from St. Charles. And the behavioral issues were so bad that the second child tried to murder his sister. And he was little. He was like 5. So these pharmaceutical drugs, these habits that you have, let's say you drink too much or you smoke too much, if you want to conceive a child, I would say spend a year or 2 detoxifying your body from all of these things. Now with the pharmaceuticals, I don't know, some people take medication for their mind. That's what happened with my friend. She was taking medication for her mental state, and her baby's kind of having, maybe, I don't know if he has issues or anything, but she tried to be very careful. So if you are a person that is on medication for your mental health, I would say talk to your doctor and possibly find an herbal alternative, perhaps, so that you won't hurt your baby if you are pregnant. Smoking, alcohol, that can contribute to your baby's growth factor. It can give your baby a fetal alcohol syndrome and other things. Hyperthyroid or hypothyroid, overly rigorous exercise resulting in low sex hormones, obesity and excessive thinness, and undernutrition resulting in vitamin deficiencies can reduce female fertility, which is true. Some women are too big and some women are too small. I'm not trying to, body shame anybody. I'm just talking about like health-wise. Sometimes you have too much weight on you, and that is what is causing your issues. Sometimes you are too small and you can't feed a baby. You don't have enough weight on you to nourish the baby. Because when you have this baby, the body, or when you're pregnant with it, the body almost sees it as a parasite. It's trying to get it out. The baby is eating what you are eating. The baby is absorbing your nutrients. So if you don't have enough calcium, what is going to happen to you? The baby is going to leach it from your body. You might start losing teeth. You might start losing hair. Your hormones might go all over the place. So it is important to have the right amount of weight on you so that you can have a healthy baby with a healthy birth weight for that baby. She says, it is interesting that being excessively over or underweight can interfere with fertility. Estrogens are produced by ovaries, adrenals, and fat cells. Thus, too much or too little fat may disrupt the delicate hormonal balance. Chronic vaginal infections, yeast infections, fallopian tubes, or endometrial tissue and endometriosis and fibroid tumors in the uterus also reduce the ability of a fertilized egg to implant. So if you're a person that's sexually active, I would request, if you don't do it already, to go to the doctor and keep tabs on what's happening with your body in regards to your STD, if you ever had one, because that can cause scarring of the tubes. That can cause infertility as well. It might not be the healthiest environment for the baby to, conceive within you. Also, endometriosis, if you're dealing with that, you can get certain hormones that will help you balance those out. Some hormones will be like, what was it? She mentions them in here, so I'm not going to state them from the top of my head. But me personally, I believe I may have PCOS, so I'm currently in a PCOS Facebook group, and the women in there give a lot of good information about what to take, what to eat, what to drink in order to help with your PCOS and also increase your fertility. Next part, male. Semen analysis is performed to assess male fertility. A sample donated after a period of sexual abstinence, and then she talks about what the tests include. So one interesting thing that stood out to me for this is sperm count. count may be reported per millimeter as a total. She says 60 million sperm. 60 million sperm in the past was considered infertile, but now it's considered the norm. She says, I have seen reports stating that sperm counts have dropped by 40 to 50% since 1940. That is insane to me. Sperm counts are highest for a man in his teens and 20s, dropping significantly during his 30s. A woman in her 40s will have an easier time getting pregnant if her husband is 5 years younger than her than 5 years older than her. She also states that excessive heat can reduce sperm count. And I've noticed that with a lot of men that are having fertility issues. I think it's the styles of the clothing, the tightness, those tight, skinny jeans. If you want to, have your sperm be okay, I would say instead of tight, skinny jeans, maybe wear loose pants so that you have some type of aeration coming through. Also with women, even though I'm on men, the same with you. Tight clothing, tight bras, tight panties, constrict the blood flow. It can also cause you to have fertility issues. I remember in college reading a little bit of Sacred Woman, which I never finished because that book is so huge, by Queen Afua. And Queen Afua had one chapter that said women should not wear pants. Now, I'm not saying if you're a woman, don't wear pants. I'm just saying don't wear anything that's too constricting on you. So ever since I read that, I haven't really worn pants. Like even today, I'll wear, like right now I'm wearing a skirt, like my little skirt. So that you can have some type of airflow, so that you can have some type of circulation going into your body and all of that. And that helps with fertility. She said, even when a man's sperm count is adequate, there is no guarantee he can father a child or that childlessness is due to an undiagnosed problem with the wife. A problem with any of the sperm characteristics listed above can reduce a man's ability to father a child. Yeah, sometimes the body, I feel, will reject a sperm that they feel is not like adequate enough for it. I don't know. It's like, okay, this sperm has some type of issue, so I'm not going to let it into my egg. Anyway, you can also do acupuncture. You can also do Mayan abdominal massage, which is supposed to rejuvenate the uterus, even though I'm still on males, I'm sorry. I keep switching between male and female. You can do Mayan abdominal massage, which revitalizes the uterus. If you are a guy that is having a hard time getting your woman pregnant, or a woman pregnant, I would say, as far as habits, if you're smoking, if you're drinking, if you're like clubbing, drinking it up and stuff, which I've seen with a lot of guys, especially like our young customers, they'll just be smoking, drinking, all of that stuff. I'm like, dude, you need to stop. You just, because not only are they having trouble with their sperm, they're having trouble with libido, testosterone, all of those different things. And that's why they come in and try to get something for libido. Like, you could just reduce the drinking, reduce the smoking of the weed and all of that, and your problems will solve 80% of itself. So she talks about conventional medical treatments, which include surgery and drugs, but I don't have these drugs or pharmaceutical drugs here. So I'm going to show you some of the herbs that I brought. Supplements. I have herbs and supplements that she mentions in this book that I'm going to show you to help with your fertility. Before I get into that, she also states meditation and relaxation. Stress can interfere with hormone production, which is true. If you are trying so hard to have a little baby and you just keep trying without protection, I would say take a break because you're stressing yourself out. Let your body just calm down. Wait maybe a few weeks. Try it again. Also, start tracking your ovulation as well. There's ovulation apps that you can download online to track it. Okay. Supplements, prenatal vitamins, calcium and magnesium, red raspberry. That's a very popular woman's herb. This is for females. Red raspberry is a popular woman's herb, especially if you are having trouble with menstrual cramps and other things, or if you are having troubles with menopause. If you are in threat of miscarriage, red raspberry can also help with preventing miscarriage. I believe it is one of the few herbs that you can take throughout pregnancy. I think it's safe enough to take throughout pregnancy. Essential fatty acids, she mentions borage, blackcurrant, evening primrose, and flaxseed oils. Now those oils are high in gamma-linolenic acid, which helps with the skin moisture and all of these things. But if you are about to give birth, you can start taking, now don't quote me on this, but I read this somewhere. You can start taking borage oil for cervical ripening over the course of maybe a few days or a few weeks, and that will help you with having an easier labor. Several midwives have recommended that patients insert a caplet of evening primrose oil vaginally to soften the cervix 3 weeks before delivery. Other female herbs, chasteberry, which is Vitex, is known to tone and strengthen the tissues of the female reproductive system. You have Damiana, which is a sexual stimulant. Dong Kai, and I have Damiana right here. I have Damiana powder that I got from work. You can pour this in your water. You can also take it if you are a man. It is a sexually stimulating herb. I'm taking it for my uterus because I'm taking all these uterus herbs. I'll be 32 in about 2 months, so I'm really trying to preserve and enhance my fertility. That way, if I get married someday in my 30s, then I'll be baby ready. She also mentions Dong Kai, which is a woman's herb. This is Dong Kai. Standardized whole herb formula supports a healthy reproductive system. Dong Kai is called the queen of herbs. It promotes blood flow to the reproductive organs and enhances fertility. It has a mild estrogenic effect on the body. Iron levels for women. A lot of women are low in iron. So she says do that. If you don't want inorganic iron, you can use red beetroot, yellow dock root, red raspberry, burdock, and nettle. If you are a meat eater like me, you could eat a steak and get some iron from there. If you are not, like if you're a vegan, I would suggest you stock up on these herbs. I did know a girl that was vegan, or she is vegan, and she carried her first baby fine, but I think later on she had like some issues with the second baby. So it's very important to get your share of iron, especially if you're vegan. You might have to like double up on your vitamin content in your herbs. Kelp helps with the thyroid. I don't have that with me. Maca root. Actually, I have maca powder and I have black maca. They recommend black maca for men, but you can take it if you're a woman. And I have the maca powder, which looks like this. It's maca. It's a cruciferous root vegetable. It increases libido. It also gives you energy. Some people use it to gain weight as well. I remember when I was using it consistently, I was getting curvier and I was gaining weight at the same time. But one thing I did not, that I'm never going to do again, is mix this and this together. Like when I say just libido out of the wall, yeah, Damiana and maca, it was too much. So now I only stick to one. Also, vitamin E. Where's my vitamin E? Vitamin E, 400 IU. is considered the fertility vitamin, though fertility is likely reduced with a severe shortage of any vitamin. They also recommend this for men as well, when she mentions that for men. I've read this in other fertility books where a man can take a lot of vitamin E and increase his sperm count. There are some herbs that you can take to conceive, but you have to stop taking when you're pregnant as well. And she mentions that in this book. For men, as far as vitamins, she states zinc. It's essential for tissue growth. If you are a man who is having frequent sex, you have to replenish yourself with vitamins, because when you ejaculate, you lose essential vitamins and nutrients. So zinc is one vitamin that you can lose. So stocking up on zinc would be very beneficial for you if you are a man. Wild American ginseng root, or wild American ginseng. Ginseng is an overall body tonic in multiple cultures, called by different names. Like Siberian ginseng is known as, I can't pronounce it, eleutheri or whatever. Starts with an E. But that is something that you can use. There are some other herbs she mentions: Damiana, eleuthero, Siberian ginseng, kelp, L-arginine, which is an amino acid, maca, sarsaparilla, that is called, that helps with increasing testosterone, especially if you're a young man and you want to mature fast during puberty. You can take sarsaparilla. Now, this one for women is called Female Joy. It is a tea. It is a sexual sensitivity and vitality tea. I got this tea because I feel like it helps with the uterus. I feel anything that is for sexual anything or libido also helps with the sexual organs, or helps to tonify. For men, this is one of the products I have at my job, and this is called Cobra. A lot of men get this product because it has kola nut, yohimbe, horny goat weed, oat straw, nettle, katuaba, moria puama, Korean ginseng, damiana, and saw palmetto. Another herb that is good for men, especially in terms of libido and fertility, would be Tonkat Ali. And you can also use DIM, which I can't remember what that stands for, but I've seen it in a lot of male libido products. Deer antler, which not only will stimulate the libido, but it also helps with strength and helping to make bones very strong. You can take sea moss, men and women, because sea moss is high in minerals. It has 92 of the 102 essential minerals you need in your body, they say. So you can either get a sea moss powder, you can get a sea moss capsules, like vitamins, or you can make the sea moss, the raw sea moss, into a gel, and that will help as well. So yeah, I hope you learned a lot from this video. I hope I did not over talk you too much, and that if you are trying to get pregnant or trying to conceive, that you can use some of these things in order to have your baby. Also, if you are a woman and you want to have a baby naturally, or not naturally, you want to have a baby but you don't have a male partner around, or if you're like a lesbian couple that wants to have a baby and you don't have any man, one group that I would recommend for you is a group called Single Mothers by Choice, which is on Facebook. It has a lot of good information if you are a woman planning on having a baby alone. They give information about sperm donors, ovulation, all of these different things, self-insemination. So fertility is a very expansive territory, and I hope all of you get your baby dust if you're trying to have a kid. And if you do, if this video helped you, then please send me your baby's picture, because I love baby pictures. So talk to you all later, and I will be back with another book review very, very soon. See you next time, and happy reading.